We're going to solve a system of 3 by 3 equations using elimination. So the first thing we're going to do is eliminate one variable twice in a row, which means we're going to be using 2 equations and then another 2 equations. So looking at the x's, there's a negative x, a negative 5x, and a 2x. We can't already eliminate one of them using 2 equations. We're going to have to multiply by something to one of the equations to get it to cancel with the other x. So let's move on to the y's. The y's look easier to cancel because we could use the first equation and the third equation, and we don't have to multiply either equation by anything. And then we could also use the second and the third and not multiply by anything. So I would eliminate the y's first. So if this is equation 1, 2, and 3, let's use equation 1 plus equation 3. And now we can add the equations together. I'm going to star this equation because we're going to come back to it. So like I said, we need to eliminate that same variable again. So because we chose y's, we need to go back to y's, and we can use 2 more equations. So I'm going to do equation 2 plus equation 3. You could do equation 1 and 2, you just have to multiply one of them by negative 1 to get the y's to cancel. Then we can add them together, and I'm going to star this one also. So now we have 2 starred equations that don't have a y. We can put those together and try to eliminate another variable now. So we could eliminate the x's and multiply this whole equation by 3 to get it to cancel with the negative 3x. Or we could eliminate the z's, and they already cancel, so we don't have to multiply either equation by anything. So I'm going to do that one. And now we're using our starred equations. Now we're left with negative 2x equals 2, and we can solve for x. So divide both sides by negative 2, x equals negative 1. So that's the hard part, eliminating one variable in 2 sets of equations and then putting those equations together that you get. Now we're just going to be plugging stuff back in. So if x is negative 1, start working backwards. We can go back to this step here and plug in negative 1 for x. We can pick either equation, so I'm going to pick the first one. Negative 1 minus 2z equals 7. Now we can solve for z. So we can add 1 to both sides and divide by negative 2. And finally, now that we have x and z, we can go back to one of the original equations that has x, y, and z. And there's your solution for this system of equations. And I would just be careful because in this example, a lot of things automatically canceled without us having to do anything. So I might watch one more example where we have to do a little bit more because that might be more similar to a problem that you might have to do.